The other explanation is that, yes, the men were sick, those who were making complete sentences. Others had gone absolutely, completely mad. And a good chunk of them were fused to any metal surface. The bulkheads,
Ew.
the doors, hands fused to it, legs fused to body parts. Some people say there was just faces sticking out of the metal, as if like the inorganic material just became one. So as the ship comes back, you have people literally just screaming out in pain.
Okay, let me just ask one clarifying question.
Hold on to it for one more minute. The other thing that happened is that many of the men just straight up disappeared.
That's what my clarifying question was.
Okay, crazy, fused to the ship, gone.
Okay, so we don't actually know if there was still men on that ship, if they whatever. Okay, so these are the three not theories. These are the three stories we're being told. Okay.
So it's not three stories. There's
three accounts.
One account said that the men were just sick and he was on the first Seth, so they were never going to run the experiment again. The other one is saying it was a horror show. People were sick, mad, fused to the ship, and a lot had disappeared.
Okay. So you have two accounts essentially from two different people. Mm-hmm. So it's like, who are we believing? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm so sorry. I know one was on the other ship watching. Where was the other one? Both on the other? Or we don't know? I
only know the one account was on the ship.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of all of this.
Here's the other thing that's going to happen. And this is a convoluted story. At some point, there's going to be another account that says none of it happened.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. It's coming. But before we get there, we have to talk about what happened between the two white flashes.
Yes, let's get into this.
Okay. So we've touched on it a little bit, but unified field theory is way more about just bending light or making you invisible to minds. If we're taking into account magnetic and gravitational fields, teleportation or time travel could theoretically be possible in this wormhole, time slip, all that kind of stuff, right? Because
it's way over my head, but
if you're bending the dimensional fabrics of reality, you can also, if you bend space and you bend light, right, and all these things, you're bending physics, you can also technically bend space and time.
Okay. I mean, I get it, but I don't.
That is as far as I'm ever going to understand the physics of it. Okay. So if it could do all those things, it would also explain why eyewitnesses would claim that when the ship vanished from Philadelphia, they had seen it appear in the waters in Norfolk, Virginia, 200 miles away.
Okay, that does vaguely sound familiar. I really thought I knew more about this than I do. This is great. Okay, so wow, okay.
So Norfolk, people there say flash, ship on the horizon, couple minutes, flash, ship gone.
Okay.
Now, the person who brings us the report from what was on the boat, the people fused, screaming, all that kind of stuff, right? We don't know where he was stationed at.
Okay.
But we know he was on the boat because he also noted that the watches and the clocks were all 10 seconds behind. So it seems to have traveled in both space and time. It somehow lost 10 seconds. Nothing insane.
Interesting.
But it was noted on enough things that to this gentleman, it must have also traveled in time. Okay, that is literally all we have on this experiment. And that's why it's taken me so long to run it, because I could tell you the story of this a bunch of times in 10 minutes, but it does nothing, right?
Okay, the people that saw it, were those just random people that reported it?
So
do we know?
We know the person on the Forsyth who saw it. We don't know anything really about the guy who saw the carnage.
Yeah, I'm talking about when it went to Norfolk.
Norfolk? We don't have... We don't have
a bunch of people. Was
people acknowledge direct accounts of it. We have basically this gentleman who is on the Forsyth. He is going to break the story and he's going to talk to a lot of people. But a lot of what we have comes from him, which is why we don't have a lot of names or evidence. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit.
Okay. All right.
But there's going to be a cover-up. I've already alluded to that.
Mhm.
And Norfolk comes up in the cover-up. So whatever people saw, there was enough credence to it that the military was like, we're going to explain this. So
Okay.